Richard Weil, and I'm the owner and principal of National Restaurant Consultants, and we welcome you in again to the NRC Helpful Moment, number 156th edition. And Brian Devine from Cafe Fuel and Top Line Management. Hello, Brian. How are you today?
Doing great. How about yourself, Richard?
Good. Well, I am live from Gunther Tootie's restaurant in Littleton, Colorado. And so if we have a little background noise here, we're in the restaurant, food service, and hospitality business. But today our special featured guest is Mr. Doug Brooks, who's a past chairman of Brinker International. And I've known Doug more than a few weeks. And we both hail from the Conrad N. Hilton College of Hotel Restaurant Management at the University of Houston in Houston, Texas. And Doug is also a regent for the University of Houston. And both of us are proud alums of the Hilton College. So, Doug, thank you for joining us today. We really appreciate it.
Excited about episode number 156.
Well, thanks, Doug. And Doug has some great insights and some points of information regarding a lot of things going on with technology and robotics to start with. And if we have enough time, we'll maybe pivot over to a couple of other topics as well. But Doug, can you share with our group and our audience a little bit about what you're seeing out there with the robotics and what that becomes as far as helping restaurateurs to great efficiency and, more importantly, hopefully even better service for our guests? So, Doug?
Sure. Well, hey, Richard and Brian, and pleased to be with you again. So technology has played such a huge role in successful restaurants in the last 23 months. It's amazing. But who thought the Jetsons TV show would finally, for us old baby boomers, finally the Jetsons are alive. So robotics have become part of this technology solution. And so even at Chili's, the brand that I grew up with, we now have some robots we're testing. And it's amazing how many robotic companies there are out there that are working now in the hospitality industry. But for instance, the one we're testing in a number of locations, it can bring food from the kitchen. It can take guests from the host stand to their table. It's programmed to the table numbers, so it knows all the table numbers. It can sing happy birthday to a guest. And by the way, the guest thinks it's so cool when they see this robot that looks like the maid that was on the Jetsons. It has like two shelves, and it brings food out or can take away food. So obviously part of the payout is one of the major things we're trying to figure out, and it really is the utilization, the times on the floor that robot can replace a human being or work with a human being, going back and forth from the dish station, the front door to the tables, and it really has been a cool test so far. But I can also tell you that we're playing around with a robot in the kitchen, which a lot of restaurants have already been doing this. So at Chili's, we cook our chips from scratch every day. We buy corn tortillas, cut them in 4, and a live cook will stand over the fryer in the morning from 8 to 11 for at least 3 hours, basically making fresh tortilla chips for our great salsa. And then during the shift, of course, those fryers are knocking out lots of fries and onion rings. So, and it's amazing, restaurant supply companies are now in the robotics business. So you call your big restaurant supplier, they have information and connections to robots that could literally stand at the fryer all day and knock out perfect French fries or perfect chips. But I've got 2 other stories that I actually saw online that are even more cool. So I saw this Pizza Hut story the other day. This is a robotic restaurant in a box, and the name of the company is Hyper Robotics. This is in Israel. So an Israel-based robotics startup, it looks like a food truck. It's a containerized restaurant that's all glass. And inside this box, it's literally like a food truck sitting out on a street or by a park. There's only robots inside of it. And so on your phone, you order the pizza, you watch the robot. Everything is made in this box except for the dough. The dough already comes done. The robots can make 50 pizzas an hour. You get a message on your phone when it's ready, and there's a drawer that pops out of this box, and there's your pizza. And then even cooler, I saw this email the other day. Right now at the Beijing Winter Olympics, in the media center, there's actually a robot that can make drinks. Literally has bottles above it, can pull out a glass, put ice in it, make cocktails, and this robot works alongside a human bartender, I guess, if it's a complicated drink or something happens. But so just think of all the opportunities in this time when nobody has a full staff, this great resignation that's happened in our country, not just in our industry, but in every industry. the opportunity to bring robots in. They don't talk back. They don't want raises. And they work most of the time. The one that we have at Chili's, we actually call Rita the robot. And just so you know, we bought it. We bought it during the test, but there's also a 3-year service warranty, obviously, for repairs. So just like any equipment, a TV or a fryer, you got to make sure that this robotic company can repair it. So just amazing the possible changes that have happened, some because of COVID, some just because technology now has become the forefront of everything.
I unmuted. How about that? My technology worked today.
Yes.
You know, it's amazing. And I know that you all are still experimenting with some ghost kitchens, but I see this application to where literally the ghost kitchens could be almost completely automated with very little labor. And is that part of some of the things you're also looking at?
Sure. And even before I answer that, Dick, I forgot to mention this. One of the things people were concerned about with technology and robotics was that human beings that went out to eat would think that, oh, we're losing the personal touch. And, Chili's has had these iPads on the table for years, and the consumers love them. Fast food and fast casual restaurants have had kiosks where people would actually order instead of a server. And by the way, the check averages are higher when somebody orders through a kiosk. People order desserts, larger drinks, because they're not worried about being judged by the person on the other side of the counter because they got a large Coke or a pecan pie, wacky. But yeah, this virtual kitchen thing is just crazy. And so Chili's in June of 2020, when many restaurants in the country were closed, literally shut down, we were able to capitalize on our digital footprint and a relationship with DoorDash, a third-party delivery. And overnight, in June of 2020, we opened up 1,000 restaurants, the largest restaurant opening in the history of mankind, as far as anybody knows. It's not in the Guinness Book of World Records, but these were virtual brands. It was called It's Just Wings, basically just buffalo wings, some soft drinks, waffle fries, and one dessert. And if you had a DoorDash app, you could order wings that were priced much lower than the large, more popular wing companies. And they were actually being cooked in a Chili's or a Maggiano's. But people didn't know that. They didn't care that. They ordered on their app. 30 minutes later, a car drove up on their front door and they had delicious, beautiful buffalo wings. And our only cost in rolling this out was to buy bags that had an It's Just Wings logo on them and styrofoam containers a different color than the Chili's to-go containers. In the first 12 months, It's Just Wings did $170 million in sales, which would have made it the 182nd largest restaurant in the United States of America. And it didn't have bricks and mortar, didn't have a front door, basically just had fryers in the back of a Chili's, and it became a virtual brand out of the air.
And I think this is where we're headed because of a lot of reasons, but mostly convenience, service, quality. But we're also going to have the opportunity, I hate to say it, but if we don't have staff, this is going to be the decision that we have to move towards. And it's not a political comment. It's not a political statement, but our industry, we are the industry of happiness. We are the industry of hospitality, and we figure out how to pivot. And that's what Brinker has done. You all have pivoted. Doug, I can't thank you enough for being on this broadcast today. I'm going to say one thing, go Cougs, because they play SMU tonight. Doug is headed right now over to the campus of SMU, and he's going to be over there cheering on our Cougars. And anything else you want to add to this, Doug?
I would just add that SMU was 11-0 at home before tonight's game, so I'm sorry to report they're going to be 11-1 when I get back home tonight. So, and
as Paday usually says, Mike Paday, who's one of our fellow alums, and of course he's vice president, I think, of the Alumni Village. Don't jinx us, Doug.
Sorry about that. Brian, Richard, great being with you guys.
Brian, I know we're going to cut it short today, and we'll get some marketing next time, but that's it for the 156th edition, if that's okay with you, Brian.
You got it. Have a great one, everybody.
All right. So long, everybody. Have a good time, Doug. Thanks.
Thank you.
Brian,
Bye.
We'll see you in a few minutes.
Okay.
Bye.